This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, Agun Erev Shabbos, Nachamu, Tu B'Av. I couldn't help myself this week. Even though we've been doing Divrei Torah, the first half, and the second half, Tefilla, but this idea hit me, and I couldn't restrain myself. It's been a while since we discussed this topic, actually, even though when you hear it, you'll say, oh, we always discuss it. We haven't discussed it actually in a very long time, in many months. And the reason why I'm bringing it in is because in the third edition of Elokah D'Meir Aneni, I made a hoisafa to the Sefer at the end of the 25th chapter, based on a remez that Rabbi Yosef Yagen told me, and of Muncie, and a friend of mine in France who I had sent it to reminded me this week about this hoisafa, and then a very big chiddush dawned on me. Moshe Rabbeinu says, "Va'eschanan el Hashem ba'es hahilemar," and I pleaded with God at that time, saying, but that could also be read, "Va'eschanan Hashem ba'es." I pleaded to Hashem with ace. What is ace? Ba'es. Ba'es is gematria 472. What is the numerical value of 472? Elokah D'Meir Aneni. That what was Moshe Rabbeinu's tefillah to enter Eretz Yisroel? Elokah D'Meir Aneni. So when I heard that, I said, I didn't think of that, and I put it in the Sefer in the third edition, a special box on the end of the 25th chapter, and I wrote, Shamati me Rav Yosef Yagen Shlita Remez Nifla. Shagamatria shall Elokah D'Meir Aneni hu taf ayin beis v'hu ramos b'pasuk va'eschanan el Hashem ba'es hahi leimar dahainu sheMoshe hischanen b'tfilasai ba'es hidaven ba'es Elokah D'Meir Aneni. By the way, Rachel Imenu also davened Elokah D'Meir Aneni. The gematria of Rachel Mevaka Al Baneha is Elokah D'Meir Aneni, 472. Not only that, in the zchus of the tefillah will be zoicha, it should say to Chastei Shamayim. Chastei Shamayim is gematria Elokah D'Meir Aneni. And in that merit will be zoicha to the Geula Shlema Goyel U'Mashiach. Goyel U'Mashiach is gematria Elokah D'Meir Aneni. The bottom line is that what did Moshe Rabbeinu daven to enter Eretz Yisrael? He prayed Elokah D'Meir Aneni. Now, while this is certainly a very nice remez, and I left it at nothing more than that, what's the meaning? Why in the world did Moshe say Elokah D'Meir Aneni to be able to get into Eretz Yisrael? What, he lost something? Moshe Rabbeinu lost his car keys, so he said Elokah D'Meir Aneni. He's trying to get into the Holy Land. Why would Elokah D'Meir Aneni be the appropriate tefillah to get into the Holy Land? But I didn't even think of the question. I just put in the remez, and then it dawned on me that Elokah D'Meir Aneni is, in fact, the perfect tefillah to get into Eretz Yisrael. Why is that? Let's begin with the Megala Amukais. Yesterday was the yard site of the holy Megala Amukais, Rav Nassan Nata Shapira. Actually, about 3 years ago, I was in Krakow on Yud Gimel Av, and I was the first one in the cemetery in the morning, and I was going to Megala Amukais. My wife happens to be a descendant of Megala Amukais, and lo and behold, it was his yard site. Okay. Anyway, I'll tell you a little story about Kvarim. Okay, I'm not making any editorial comments. You take it however you think. Last Friday's Shiur before Tisha B'Av, do you remember we had a Shiur on Birchas HaTorah? That the reason the Churban was destroyed, they didn't make Birchas HaTorah. So we said over the question of the Magen Giborim, yeah? What do you mean? Even if they didn't say Birchas HaTorah, they said Avarabba. That was the question of the Magen Giborim, yeah? And we answered, because the main part of Birchas HaTorah is to daven for your children, and that's not included. Fine. Magen Giborim. I don't think we ever said before a question of the Magen Giborim. In fact, I'm embarrassed to say I didn't know what the Magen Giborim's name was until yesterday. But I heard many times, I know one of the most important commentaries on Shulchan Aruch is Magen Giborim. Turns out, a few days before, I was in Lemberg, in Lvov, in the Ukraine. And I was at a kever that said 6 names. It said the Taz, it said the Sma, it said the Yeshuas Yaakov, it says the Chacham Tzvi, and it said the Shoel Umeshev. That's only 5. The 6th name, it said the author of Mefarshe Hayam. Okay, I didn't know who that was, so I didn't even have a chance to speak about it. Lo and behold, I found out yesterday the Mefarshe Hayam is the Magen Giborim. So here it is. I never said over a Magen Giborim in my life. And it turns out, you know why? Because the 2 days before, I just visited him and I didn't even know. Okay, I'm not saying there's any connection. You could draw your own conclusions, but, I'm just telling you the facts. Anyway, Megala Mukoi says something amazing. He says, in Eretz Yisroel, we are banim to our father. In Eretz Yisroel, Klal Yisrael are called banim, and in Chutz La'aretz, we're called avadim. That's what the Megala Mukoi says. In Eretz Yisroel, we're called banim, in Chutz La'aretz, we're called avadim. That's why Moshe davened, Hashem, right now I'm an Eved. Ata hachiloisa laharois es avdecha. I'm an Eved, but I want to be a Ben. I want to be banim. I want to go into Eretz Yisrael. Whoa! So we see from the Megala Mukos, to really fully enjoy the benefit of being banim lamakom, it's only in Eretz Yisrael, because then we're soymech al shulchan avinu. It comes out, by the way, ayayim v'noira, unbelievable. Now we understand why Moshe Rabbeinu davened to get into Eretz Yisrael, elokah demeir aneni, because only in Eretz Yisrael you have a din of banim, and who is the shita that we are always banim lamakom? Rabbi Meir. So that is the appropriate and proper tefillah to be able to enter the Holy Land. Now, there are a few other reasons why banim, being banim lamakom, is applicable specifically in Eretz Yisrael. For example, the Chida in the Rosh Yosef, he brings that the fact that Hashem gave us Eretz Yisrael shows us that we have a din of banim. Why? Let's say you have an Eved, and you tell your Eved, I'm giving you all my estates. I'm giving you my house in Flatbush. I'm giving you my house in Miami Beach. I'm giving you my house in Eretz Yisrael. I'm giving you my bungalow in the Catskills. I'm giving you everything. But I'm not giving you 4 inches by 4 inches in my backyard. Then the Eved gets nothing. Because we say, just like you left over that little piece of land, you also left over everything else. Kivan de Shiur high. So the question is, Hashem gave us Eretz Yisrael, but He didn't give us Chutz La'aretz. And if we're avadim ta HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then how could we be koineh Eretz Yisrael? So the Chida says, the fact that he quotes the Maharash Al-Ghazi, the fact that Hashem gave us Eretz Yisrael and it's an effective matana, that demonstrates we're banim lamakom. The gift of Eretz Yisrael is a demonstration that we have a din of banim lamakom. So again, Moshe Rabbeinu, he wants to access Eretz Yisrael. He wants to be able to take possession of the Holy Land. Moshe Rabbeinu is going to invoke what principle? Elokah demeir aneni, the principle that we are banim lamakom, because if we're avadim, then we don't have the right to ask for Eretz Yisrael, because Hashem could say, just like I didn't give you Nicaragua, I didn't give you land of Israel either. The Ben Ish Chai offers another source and another reason why Eretz Yisrael is only possible because we're banim lamakom. We know that we have a question. Who did Hashem give Eretz Yisrael to? He gave it to Abraham on behalf of the Jewish people. The thing is, the Jewish people weren't created yet. So we're like mezakel le'ubar. Mezakel le'ubar loikana. So how could Hashem give us Eretz Yisrael? But Mezake L'ubar Loikana, Hashem gave it to Avram, but we weren't around. And the answer is, even though Mezake L'ubar Loikana, but if they're your son, you're kaina. For your son, it's kaina. You could be Mezake L'ubar to a ben. So the way that Eretz Yisrael belongs to Klal Yisrael is only because we're Banim Lamakim. So the fact that we have Eretz Yisrael, that gives us, that shows that we have the halachic status of Banim. In fact, if the Torah says, "Bayomahu karas Hashem es Avram bris leimel as aracha nasati asar tzazois," so Hashem promised Avram Avinu v'Yisrael the Eretz Yisrael should be given to descendants. But we're not in the world, and ain't adam makna l'misha ain't ba'olam. The answer is, even though mezak l'uber kana, loy kana mezaka leben kana. So we Eretz Yisrael demonstrates that we have a status of banim in two ways. Number one, we would not be able to be kainet, because we would say the same way Hashem left over and didn't give us certain lands, He didn't give us Eretz Yisrael if we're avadim. Secondly, mezaka l'ubar loy kana. So if Eretz Yisrael belongs to us, that demonstrates we're banim. Furthermore, the Megala Amukos says we can only appreciate and realize the full benefit of being banim lamakim in Eretz Yisrael. And that's why Moshe Rabbeinu davens, until now, I'm your Eved. Ata hachilois la'aris avdecha. I want to go into Eretz Yisrael and be your Ben. Memela, it comes out very beautiful, why Moshe Rabbeinu davened elaka demeir aneni, elaka demeir aneni. Moshe Rabbeinu wanted to enjoy the benefit of being banim la'makim. So if I could just show you just a few ideas in the Megala Amukos. Megala Amukos, in his 224th explanation on the Tefilla of Moshe Rabbeinu, he says Moshe Rabbeinu wanted to go into Eretz Yisrael and to achieve the status of Ben. Now, Ben, 52, look at this. Yud Kei Vav Kei, spelled with Hayes. Yud, Yud Vav Daled. Hey, hey, hey. Vav, vav, vav. Hey is spelled hey, and then a hey is Gematria 52. You know that? One of the ways of spelling the Yud Kei Vav Kei is 52. By the way, Elohim also is 52. How's that? Look at this. Elohim is 5 letters. If you spell out Elohim b'miluai, Aleph, Aleph Lamed Pei, Lamed, Lamed Mem Daled, Hey, 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 Yud, Yud Vav Daled, Mem, 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 it's 13. So the Miloi of Elohim is 13, so there are 5 letters, 3 of the Miloi, and the Miloi of the Miloi, you know what Miloi of the Miloi is? Miloi of the Miloi is, you take the 13 letters, Aleph, Lamed, Pei, Hey, Hey, Lamed, Mem, Daled, Yud, Vav, Daled, Mem, Mem, and you spell out each letter. So far we have 18, that means we have to add another 34, it's another 34 letters. In other words, Miloi is, you take Elohim is 5 letters. The Miloi is, you spell out those letters. Aleph is Aleph, Lamed, Pei, Lamed is Lamed, Mem, Daled, Hey is Hey, Hey, Yud is Yud, Vav, Daled, Mem is Mem, Mem. If you take all those 13 letters and spell out all those letters, you get another 34 letters. By the way, that's the secret of the name Gedalia. How's that? Gedalia is, look, Hey is the 5 letters of Elohim, Yud Gimel are the 13 of the Miloi, and Daled Lamed are the 34 of the Miloi of the Miloi. That spells out Ben. Gedalia Ben. Ratzaloyim Miloi Elohim Oila Gedalia Shu Ben. Do Oises Gedalia Hey Oises Elohim HaPashad. Yud Gimel from Gedalia are the Miloi, and Lamed Daled are Miloi de Miloi. And from the day of Tisha B'Av until Tzom Gedalia are 52 days. From Tisha B'Av until Tzom Gedalia is 52 days. That's what it means. Shkula, Misas, Sadikim, Kisrei Fasbeis Alekenu. Tisha B'Av is equal to Tzom Gedalia. Just like there are 52 years of Churban, of behemos, oifos that went from Eretz Yisrael to Bavel. Like Chazal say on the pasuk, "Me adam ad behema nadadu." Behema's gematria 52. So they're 52 days from Tisha B'Av to Tzom Gedalia. Okay, Rabbi say these are just some of the secrets of the Tefilla of Moshe Rabbeinu. V'eschanan el Hashem ba'es hahi. Ba'es refers to none other than the Tefilla of Elokah Demeir Aneni. So if you don't have that sefer yet, you know where to find it. You go to the site, rabbidg.com. You could order it. But what we learned today is actually new information we never said before. Maybe, b'siyata d'shmaya, if we ever expand, hopefully we could put it in. Okay, Rabbi, I want to share with you important subject regarding Tefillah, so stay tuned momentarily.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.